This segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs.
Hey, everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're going to check in with the Louisiana State Police and a couple of incidences that happened in the last couple of days involving fatalities. And for that, it's Trooper Henry Perez, a Troop C Public Information Officer. Henry, thanks so much for joining us. Very rare. We were talking a little bit before we started. An officer-involved shooting with state police seems kind of rare. A lot of times you guys are doing the investigating on that. But in this case, he ends up with, tailing some pursuit, and there's weapons involved, and it ends up shooting.
They don't happen too often. Yesterday, it was September 8th, 3 p.m., right after 3 p.m., we were involved in a pursuit with a gray Ford Raptor. It was involving a narcotics investigation. The pursuit started at 311 and Bull Run Road. It continued throughout Lafourche Parish and Terrebonne Parish. Ultimately, the suspect went onto Lake Long Drive, and he went into a dead end. Once he was there, the passenger actually exited the vehicle with a firearm, and our trooper discharged their firearm. So the suspect was armed, and we discharged our firearm. The suspect continued the pursuit down Lake Long Drive, going through Lafourche Parish. The pursuit actually ended LA1 north of St. Charles Bypass. The suspect actually crashed into another vehicle and came to rest against a residence. The suspect was taken into custody after he went into the Bayou, and he was taken into custody with the use of a canine. He was transported to a local hospital and treated, and he was booked into Terrebonne Parish Jail.
So this is still preliminary, I guess, as far as investigations go. Names, the way things happen will all come out later, I guess.
Yeah. We haven't released the suspect, the driver, or the passenger's information. We're going to do a press release later on this evening, and we'll release more information.
Did a lot of officers were involved in that? Were some of the locals involved in the chase as well?
Yeah, Lafourche Parish and Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office.
So it ended up being quite a few officers chasing, because the incident with the shooting happened in one spot and ended up in on the other side of Thibodaux by St. Charles, where it finally came to rest. And of course, the perpetrator is now in jail, and one other, of course, is deceased. Okay, so then on September 6th, this is also, I guess, in some of our areas, some of our subdivisions, some of our roads, you'll see 4x4s, or like particularly in Grand Isle, you see people on the beach with these vehicles. But when you get on major highways with these, even golf carts, it could be an issue.
Yeah, the UTVs, or the side-by-sides as they call them, yeah, it's an issue. So on September 6th, just after 6 a.m., we're notified of a two-vehicle crash. It was on 3235 just north of Golden Meadow. A side-by-side was going on the shoulder. He ended up crossing the north and southbound lanes and was struck by a Silverado. Ultimately, the subject, Clovis Vizier, a 63-year-old from Galliano, he died on scene. He was unrestrained, and he was partially ejected from the vehicle.
So again, investigations on that, I guess, were normal whenever there's an issue with someone.
Yeah, the driver of the Silverado, he submitted to a breath test, showed no alcohol in his system. And then VZA, they're going to do a blood tox on him.
So when is the correct way, or when can people ride? Can you ride on the sides of the highways? But we're talking a 4-lane, right, in Golden Meadow. So I imagine that's a pretty busy highway.
Yeah, the speed limit is 65. Yeah, they're not supposed to be riding unless it's anything related to farming. That's the only time you're supposed to ride any type of four-wheeler or side-by-side or any type of ATV on the shoulder, is only if it's farm related. On parish roads, there has to be signs stating that you could ride any type of those vehicles on the roadway.
So that could be like a local ordinance where you say, like,
parish,
and again, not to bring Grand Isle into it again, but you see those all the time. It's just that's the mode of transportation for a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's, it doesn't happen too often, but sometimes these cases do happen where someone is hit. I know a lot of people do use them frequently driving down their parish roads and stuff like that. But yeah, it's illegal. I know a lot of people do it, and so you just gotta be cautious. I know this doesn't happen, like I said, too often, but in this case, it did happen.
Yeah, and again, I think most of those are built for subdivisions, or, you know, when most people use them to just get around their subdivisions and that, which, is that legal?
Through subdivisions, yeah, it's parish ordinance. So if it's on a parish road, there's a parish ordinance in reference to it. Anytime you're on those type of vehicles, you are supposed to be having a helmet. A lot of people don't wear helmets. Also, you're supposed to be licensed too. If you're like in this case, he's supposed to have a license. He's supposed to have it registered. All that good stuff. So
When you're on the highway.
on the highway, well, he's not supposed to be on the highway.
Or,
But yeah,
right.
he's supposed to be registered.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, and I guess a lot of times, and look, we're guilty of it too, your kids may be using them, right, as a mode of transportation. Say in an Ellendale subdivision, you might have a golf cart. They'll just use them to go to house, but you're supposed to be a licensed driver, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to have a license. Yeah, and a lot of people do use them, but you know, this doesn't happen often. Where mostly people that do drive them are pretty cautious with them, but they're not supposed to be on the roadway though.
Right. And yeah, we understand that. But you know, with today's, you know, RVs and those kind of things, a lot of people use them. Just to, you know, circle back to our first story that we talked about. When can we expect some of the other information to come out on the names or you know, the
So we should be doing a press release with updated information as far as their names this evening, and then the investigation's still ongoing though.
Right. Now, a lot of times state troopers will investigate local people. Who will do this investigation?
It's a FRFIU unit will do the investigation.
I got you. All right. Well, very interesting stories. Trooper Henry, thank you so much. Perez, I appreciate your time. All right. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs.